chosen one, God decided. Supernatural level has arrived. From the very first moment, you sensed that something extraordinary was stirring. Every heartbeat of your journey has been moving toward this unveiling. You have walked through quiet valleys of preparation and climbed unseen mountains of resilience. Tonight, the atmosphere around you hums with a frequency that only those called by destiny can feel. This is the confirmation, the shift you have prayed for, the transformation you have longed for. The supernatural level decreed by God Himself is no longer a distant vision. It is here, it is alive, and it is calling your name with a resonance that no obstacle can silence. The path behind you was not random. It was divinely composed so that this very hour would arrive with unstoppable force, wrapping you in the certainty that heaven's decision has already been made in your favor. Stay with this message until the very end, because each word carries the energy of what God has decided for you. Right now, in the comments, write your warmest wishes and the number 99. This single act is more than a gesture. It is a spark that energizes the universe around you. Your wishes released into the open become a living current of expectation, a testimony of faith that aligns you with the supernatural level unfolding in this very moment. As you write, imagine those wishes igniting like stars across the infinite sky, connecting to others who are ready for the same divine acceleration. This is the only time we pause for this invitation. From here forward, every sentence will carry you deeper into the revelation of what God has already set in motion. Now, chosen one, like this video. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed to the channel, and let's begin. God has not merely glanced at your life. God has authored a supernatural elevation that transcends logic. Every closed door you have encountered was not a denial, but a deliberate redirection, guiding you toward this threshold where the natural ends and the supernatural begins. You may have questioned the silence of certain seasons, but those silences were sacred incubators. They were the moments when God whispered instructions into your spirit, unseen but unshakable, so that when this day arrived, you would stand unafraid. The air around you is charged with that truth. It moves like an unseen wind, bending circumstances, rearranging timelines, and bringing forward opportunities that defy the predictable rhythm of time. Look closely at the events of your life, and you will notice patterns that once felt accidental, but now reveal divine choreography. Encounters that seemed random were actually assignments. Delays that frustrated you were shields of protection. Losses you mourned were the pruning of branches so that the fruit ahead could grow without limit. This is the language of God, not bound by human schedules, not confined by human expectations. The supernatural level is a dimension where heaven's calendar overrules earthly clocks, where the unseen becomes undeniable. You are not just stepping into a better season. You are stepping into an existence where miracles are the norm, where favor is the atmosphere you breathe. The decision of God is not a distant decree. It is alive in the rhythm of your present. You can sense it in the subtle shifts of your daily life. Conversations that appear ordinary carry hidden confirmations. Small victories echo with eternal significance. Even the quiet moments of reflection throb with an awareness that something far greater is unfolding. The supernatural level is not about spectacle. It is about alignment. It is God pulling back the veil so you can walk with the confidence of someone who knows the end has already been written. And in that script, you are victorious. Every barrier is already broken, every chain already undone, every gate already open. Remember the times when you felt unseen, when the prayers seemed to vanish into silence. Those were not forgotten prayers. They were seeds sown into divine soil, waiting for this exact season to burst into harvest. God was never absent. God was orchestrating. The supernatural level means that what once seemed impossible now becomes inevitable. It is the collision of faith and decree. The moment when heaven's yes meets the earth's readiness. You are standing at that intersection. You are not hoping for permission. You are stepping into what has already been authorized. Feel how your spirit responds as these words move through you. That stirring is confirmation. It is the recognition that the supernatural is not coming. It has arrived. You will see sudden alignments, resources appearing without explanation, connections forming at the perfect moment, doors swinging open that no one can close. These are not coincidences. They are the fingerprints of God on the canvas of your life. Every detail testifies that the decision has been made. You are chosen, and the supernatural is your new normal. As you walk forward, notice how even challenges transform in this light. What once felt like opposition now becomes evidence of acceleration. The weight that tried to hold you down will reveal itself as the very pressure that launched you higher. The supernatural level does not eliminate obstacles. It turns them into platforms. God uses what was meant to limit you as the very tool to showcase divine power. Every delay is being rewritten as a display of glory. Every "no, you heard" echoes now as a louder yes from heaven. You will feel a surge of courage that defies explanation. Ideas will flow as if from an endless well. Strength will rise in moments when you would have once felt weak. People will look at you and sense the difference even if they cannot name it. That is the evidence of God's supernatural imprint. It is not about arrogance or pride. It is about carrying the undeniable aroma of destiny fulfilled. You do not need to strive for recognition. The supernatural level announces itself. The atmosphere shifts when you enter the room because God has decided that your presence carries purpose. Let these words settle deep within you. They are not simply poetic expressions. They are a mirror reflecting the reality you are stepping into. The supernatural level is not an event you attend. It is a life you embody. Every heartbeat, every breath, every decision is now wrapped in the certainty that God has already provided the outcome. You are not chasing victory. You are revealing it. You are not hoping for favor. You are walking in it. This is the difference between striving and inheriting. God decided, and you are the living proof of that decision. From this day forward, expect to notice the unmistakable rhythm of divine timing. Conversations will align, opportunities will appear, and inner clarity will sharpen. You will sense when to speak and when to stay silent, when to move and when to wait, guided by a wisdom that feels both gentle and unstoppable. That is the voice of God directing you within the supernatural level. It is not a distant echo. It is an intimate guide. Trust it. You are not experimenting with chance. You are participating in a destiny that has already been secured. Even as you read these words, the shift is active. The supernatural level does not wait for perfect conditions. It creates them. It takes what seems ordinary and infuses it with eternal significance. Your daily steps, whether in quiet work or bold action, are now movements in a grand design. You carry the glow of someone who knows that heaven has already spoken. You are not waiting for a sign. You are the sign. This is the reality that God has decided for you. A life that radiates with unstoppable purpose. A journey where the impossible bows to divine decree. A destiny where every moment is charged with meaning. Chosen one, the supernatural level is not a promise for tomorrow. It is the truth of today. Stand in it, breathe it, walk it, live it. The decision is final, and it is glorious. The air around you thickens with a quiet electricity, as though creation itself leans closer to witness what God is unfolding in your life. This is not mere metaphor. It is the reality of a realm where divine timing bends the ordinary. The supernatural level draws every detail of your world into a grand, purposeful alignment. You may feel subtle nudges, moments when you pause without knowing why. Conversations that spark with a resonance you cannot explain. These are not coincidences. They are signposts from God. Gentle yet undeniable signals that you have stepped beyond the boundaries of what was once possible. Consider the way challenges now appear differently. Obstacles that once drained your strength seem to carry a hidden invitation. They no longer arrive to break you, but to reveal the strength that God placed within you before you ever encountered them. You are discovering that the supernatural does not remove resistance. It transforms it into a proving ground where your true capacity shines. The very things that once intimidated you now serve as confirmation that you are walking in the decision God already made. They are the backdrop against which divine power can be unmistakably displayed. You will find that your perception sharpens. Colours may feel richer, moments more vivid, as though the world itself is lit from within. This heightened awareness is not mere emotion. It is the awareness of destiny fulfilled. God's presence infuses the ordinary with glory, and you begin to sense that every step carries the weight of eternity. A casual walk becomes a procession of purpose. A quiet conversation becomes an echo of heaven's own voice. Nothing is wasted. Everything participates in the revelation of the supernatural level. As this awareness deepens, you will notice that people respond to you differently. Some will be drawn, sensing the quiet authority that flows from divine favor. Others may be unsettled, unable to explain the light they see, but unable to ignore it. Do not be surprised if relationships shift. God's decision to elevate you naturally reorders the connections in your life. Those aligned with your purpose will find themselves drawn closer. Those who cannot journey with you to this new dimension will quietly fade. This is not loss, it is refinement. The supernatural level permits only what strengthens the destiny God has set before you. There will also be moments of breathtaking acceleration. Projects that once felt stalled will suddenly surge forward. Ideas you have carried for years will crystallize in days. Resources will appear as if they were always waiting just beyond the veil, now stepping into view at the precise moment you need them. This is the cadence of the supernatural, swift, exact, and undeniably orchestrated. You will marvel not because you doubted God's ability, but because the timing reveals such exquisite care. Every provision, every opportunity will carry the signature of heaven's foresight. Through it all, peace will become your unshakable companion. Not a fragile calm dependent on circumstances, but a deep, resonant stillness that flows from knowing God has already settled the outcome. This peace is the atmosphere of the supernatural level. It steadies you when others panic, guides you when others are confused, and keeps you anchored when success could otherwise sweep you into distraction. It is the quiet confirmation that you are exactly where you are meant to be, moving at the speed of divine intention. Even the passage of time begins to feel different. Days stretch with meaning, moments expand with possibility. You realize that God is not bound by human clocks, and therefore neither are you. What once required years can unfold in a heartbeat. what once seemed irreversible can change in an instant. The supernatural level is eternity touching now, and you are walking inside that intersection. Each decision you make, each step you take, carries the echo of forever. Keep listening to that inner resonance, the gentle rhythm of God's guidance. It will lead you to places you never imagined, not through frantic striving, but through steady, confident movement. You will recognize the right doors, because they open with a grace that requires no forcing. You will recognize the right words, because they flow with an ease that carries unmistakable authority. This is how the supernatural operates, not through chaos, but through a harmony that reveals God's deliberate hand. Let this truth settle deep within you. You are not waiting for the supernatural level to arrive. You are living it. Every breath you take is already charged with divine purpose. Every encounter is already pregnant with possibility. You are not hoping for a miracle. You are the living demonstration of one. God decided, and that decision reverberates through every detail of your existence. So walk boldly, chosen one. The supernatural level is not a promise for tomorrow. It is the reality of this very moment. Carry it into every conversation, every endeavor, every quiet pause. Let the world see what happens when heaven's decree becomes a human life fully awakened. You are proof that when God decides, nothing can stand in the way of what is meant to be. There is a quiet magnificence unfolding in the background of your days, as though the universe itself has shifted its rhythm to match the heartbeat of what God has set in motion for you. The supernatural level does not merely influence circumstances, it rewrites them. What once seemed to operate by ordinary rules now bends to a higher design, a design authored by God long before you were aware of it. The decisions you make in this space are guided by a wisdom that feels older than time and sharper than the present moment. Each step you take seems to awaken something dormant in the world around you, stirring opportunities and connections that were waiting for the sound of your obedience. This awakening shows itself in unexpected encounters. You might find yourself standing next to a stranger who speaks a word that feels like an answer to a prayer you barely whispered. You may receive an invitation that aligns perfectly with an unspoken dream. These are not random incidents. They are the choreography of the supernatural level. God arranges these meetings with a precision that human planning could never achieve. And as you notice them, gratitude wells up. Not the simple thankfulness of small pleasures, but a deep recognition that you are walking inside a story far greater than anything you could construct on your own. There is also a subtle but unmistakable expansion of your capacity. Tasks that once felt overwhelming now unfold with surprising ease. Ideas arrive fully formed like gifts, carried on a current you cannot see but can always trust. You begin to realize that this is not just about external success. It is about internal transformation. God is enlarging your spirit to match the magnitude of the calling. The supernatural level does not simply grant achievements. It makes you capable of sustaining them. It is the difference between temporary triumph and enduring influence. As this transformation continues, you may notice the gentle dismantling of fears that once held you hostage. Old doubts lose their voice. Anxieties that used to linger now dissolve in the light of God's decision. The supernatural level is not an escape from reality. It is the revelation of a greater reality. It teaches you that fear is only the shadow of a life unlived. And when God decides to illuminate your path, those shadows cannot remain. Every step forward becomes an act of courage, not because you force yourself to be brave, but because courage is the natural language of someone who knows the outcome is secure. Watch how even your environment begins to respond. Spaces you enter carry a different atmosphere. People feel a calm they cannot explain, or a spark of energy they cannot ignore. This is not a performance. It is evidence. God's decision resonates outward, creating ripples that touch lives beyond your own. You will find that your presence brings clarity where there was confusion, hope where there was hesitation, and vision where there was limitation. The supernatural level transforms you into a living testament of what happens when divine purpose inhabits a human life. There will be moments when the pace of change quickens. Days when it feels as though everything is happening at once. When opportunities multiply and decisions arrive faster than you can record them, do not fear these surges. They are the signature of divine acceleration. God is compressing time, gathering what might have taken years into a single season. You will look back and realize that what once felt like delay was only the preparation for this breathtaking momentum. Yet, even in the midst of this acceleration, a deep stillness remains. It is the paradox of the supernatural. Rapid movement surrounded by unshakable peace. You are not swept away by the current because the current flows from within you, anchored in the decision God made long ago. This stillness is your compass, reminding you that while everything around you changes, the source of your strength remains constant and eternal. You may also sense a growing clarity about your unique role in this grand design. The supernatural level does not erase individuality, it amplifies it. God chose you not as a copy of anyone else, but as a distinct expression of divine intention. Your gifts, your story, your very way of seeing the world, these are not incidental. They are essential threads in the larger tapestry God is weaving. Embrace them, celebrate them, let them shine without apology. In doing so, you honor the decision that set this entire journey in motion. As you continue to walk this path, you will encounter moments of profound confirmation. A word spoken at the right time, a door opening before you knock, a solution appearing before the problem even takes shape. Each of these moments is a reminder that you are not moving through life by chance. You are moving in harmony with the eternal yes of God. The supernatural level is not something you visit. It is something you carry. It goes where you go, shaping reality around you in ways that only heaven could conceive. And so you move forward, not with hesitation, but with a quiet, unstoppable certainty. The supernatural is not a distant promise waiting to be fulfilled. It is the present reality breathing through every beat of your heart. Chosen one, this is your life now. A life where divine decision meets human destiny, where God's plan and your willingness create a story that cannot be undone. Walk in it fully, live it boldly. The world is already feeling the impact of what God has decided, and the unfolding has only just begun. There is a sacred rhythm to this unfolding that grows clearer the longer you walk in it. The supernatural level is not a sudden flash that fades. It is a steady brilliance that continues to expand, revealing new dimensions of God's decision every day. You begin to notice how even the smallest details of life seem orchestrated. The way a message arrives at the exact instant you need encouragement. The way a long-forgotten idea resurfaces just when it can finally be fulfilled. These are not accidents. They are the gentle signatures of a God who delights in perfect timing. In this new reality, time feels elastic. Hours stretch with meaning, and years compress into moments of revelation. What once seemed impossible in the natural order of things now happens without resistance, as though the universe itself is leaning in to assist you. This is not luck or chance. It is the direct consequence of a divine verdict. God has already written the outcome, and the natural world responds to that decree. You walk into a room and find that resources, people, and circumstances have arrived ahead of you, prepared to match the calling placed upon your life. This alignment begins to transform the way you see opportunity. Instead of striving to create doors, you witness doors forming in front of you, swinging open with a quiet inevitability. Invitations appear in unexpected places, and the right words seem to flow effortlessly when the moment comes. This is the grace of the supernatural level. Progress without strain, movement without fear, destiny without detour. It is not that challenges cease to exist, but that they lose the power to delay what God has ordained. With each passing day, you sense a deepening connection to the presence of God. It is as if a veil has been lifted, and you can hear the soft language of eternity in the ordinary sounds of life. The rustle of leaves, the hush of evening, the laughter of a friend, all of it becomes a living reminder that you are surrounded by divine companionship. You are never navigating this journey alone. The supernatural level means God's nearness is not occasional. It is constant, woven into every breath and every heartbeat. People around you begin to feel it as well. Some will marvel at the sudden clarity and strength you carry. Others may be unsettled, sensing that something about you is different, though they cannot explain it. Relationships shift naturally, drawing those who share your alignment closer, while allowing others to step aside. This is not rejection. It is refinement. God is protecting the atmosphere required for the fullness of your calling. Those who remain are those whose spirits resonate with the same divine frequency. Acceleration follows. Projects that once felt distant suddenly come together with breathtaking speed. Dreams that lingered for years now crystallize into tangible reality. Doors that seemed sealed forever open with quiet grace, revealing opportunities far greater than you imagined. This is the unmistakable cadence of heaven's timing. Swift and certain, yet never rushed. You look back and realize that every waiting season was necessary to strengthen the foundation for this rapid ascent. Even in the midst of such swift movement, an unshakable calm holds you steady. This peace is not fragile. It is the profound assurance that God has already settled every outcome. It keeps you grounded when success grows loud, and it keeps your vision clear when new possibilities surge toward you. The supernatural level is not chaos. It is harmony. It is the blending of heaven's order with earthly experience, creating a life that feels both miraculous and beautifully balanced. You will discover that your influence extends far beyond what you can measure. A simple conversation might inspire transformation in someone you barely know. A small act of kindness could set off a chain of blessings across continents. The supernatural level multiplies impact. God takes what seems ordinary and magnifies it until its reach is immeasurable. You are not merely achieving. You are catalyzing waves of change that carry the imprint of eternity. And as this journey unfolds, you become more aware of your own uniqueness. Every gift, every lesson, every moment of perseverance was crafted for such a time as this. The supernatural level doesn't ask you to become someone else. It calls you to become fully, unmistakably yourself. God's decision was never about fitting you into another person's path. It was about unveiling the extraordinary design that has always been yours alone. So you move forward with a quiet authority, knowing that what has begun cannot be undone. The supernatural is not a future promise. It is the present reality breathing through your life. Every sunrise is a declaration of God's unwavering commitment to the story He is telling through you. Every heartbeat echoes the eternal yes that set this transformation in motion. Chosen one, walk boldly. The world is already witnessing the power of what God decided long before you took your first step. And the unveiling has only just begun. The deeper you journey into this season, the more you realize that what is happening is not merely a chapter. It is a complete redefinition of your life's rhythm. The supernatural level doesn't simply add blessings. It rewrites the very cadence of existence. Days feel charged with a living pulse, as if each moment holds an unseen spark placed there by God to guide your next step. You wake with a heightened sense of expectancy, aware that even the smallest detail could carry a revelation. This awareness sharpens your discernment. Choices that once demanded hours of debate now settle into clarity within moments. You can sense when a door is right because it swings open with a grace that requires no force. You know when to wait because an inner stillness confirms that timing is everything. These are not coincidences. They are confirmations from God that you are synchronized with a higher plan. In the supernatural level, decision and destiny merge until they feel like a single heartbeat. You will notice that opportunities no longer feel like sudden interruptions. They arrive as natural extensions of the path you are already walking. Conversations blossom into collaborations and ideas unfold with precision. It is as if the world itself has been waiting for you to reach this point, holding resources and relationships in reserve until you are ready. God has prepared each encounter with meticulous care, ensuring that what is placed in your hands now will flourish rather than fade. At times, the pace of this unfolding will astonish you. What once seemed years away now manifests in days. Projects that languished in silence surge forward with undeniable momentum. People you barely knew will offer help at exactly the right moment. Their actions guided by a wisdom they themselves cannot explain. This is divine acceleration, swift, sure, and impossible to manufacture. It is God's signature on every advancement. A quiet proclamation that the decision for your life has already been made. In this environment, even challenges serve a higher purpose. Obstacles that might have discouraged you in the past become stepping stones that lift you higher. A closed door redirects you to a greater opening. A sudden detour reveals hidden treasures you would have missed on the straight path. Nothing is wasted. The supernatural level ensures that every twist of the journey strengthens your resolve and magnifies the glory of what God is doing through you. You will feel a deepening peace, one that remains steady no matter how swiftly circumstances change. This peace is not the fragile calm of inactivity. It is the powerful assurance that God has already settled the outcome. It allows you to act boldly without anxiety, to embrace growth without fear, to welcome success without losing your center. It is the quiet confidence of someone who knows that the final word has already been spoken from heaven. Your influence will naturally expand without striving. You will inspire others simply by being present. A casual conversation may spark breakthroughs in those who listen. A single action may ripple outward to touch lives you will never meet. This is not about recognition or fame. It is about impact. God multiplies the reach of your efforts, turning each gesture into a seed of transformation far beyond your sight. Relationships will continue to realign as well. Some connections will deepen, forged by the shared resonance of divine purpose. Others will gently fade, not out of conflict, but because their role in your story has been fulfilled. Trust this flow. The supernatural level gathers to you the people who will strengthen your calling and releases those whose season with you has ended. It is refinement wrapped in grace. Through all of this, you will find that your identity grows more luminous. The qualities that make you unique, your perspective, your gifts, your voice shine with new clarity. God's decision was never about molding you into someone else's image. It was about unveiling the extraordinary design that has always been within you. In this light, you stand without apology, a living example of what happens when heaven's decree becomes flesh and spirit in one life. So continue to walk with unwavering confidence. The supernatural level is not a fleeting encounter, but a permanent elevation. Every breath you take echoes the certainty of God's choice. Every step you make carries the imprint of eternity. Chosen one, you are living proof that when God decides, nothing on earth or in heaven can overturn the outcome. The unfolding story is far from finished. And each new moment is another confirmation that the decision was perfect from the start. The revelation of this season settles over you like a sunrise that refuses to fade. Every day confirms that the supernatural level is not a brief visitation, but a lasting atmosphere. You feel it in the way time bends to meet purpose, in the way your spirit stays strong even when the world moves unpredictably. This is the life that God decided for you. A life where divine intention and daily reality are no longer separate but beautifully entwined. You begin to sense that even your thoughts carry creative power. Ideas that once flickered as distant possibilities now take shape with remarkable clarity. You speak and circumstances respond. You imagine and resources align. This is not arrogance. It is participation in the design God authored before you were born. The supernatural level amplifies the authority placed within you, reminding you that you are both a witness and a vessel of heaven's will.